So these problems are pretty straightforward. We're going to look at number 1. It says that you have a road 18.2 miles long. How many inches is that? This is a straight up conversion. Remember, what we want's on top, what we don't want, what we want to cancel out's on bottom. Well, we're going to start with 18.2 miles. Just from knowledge in the book or looking them up on tables, we know there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So we put 5,280 feet in 1 mile. You can also solve this as yards per mile if you know the number of yards in a mile. It's up to you. Either way will work. Here, we canceled out miles. We ended up in feet. Now we know there are, in 1 foot, we won't fill the bottom now, we want to cancel out, in 1 foot, there's 12 inches. This is what we want to be left up with, right? And this is what we want to cancel out. If we did it the other way, we end up with feet squared, which does not help us at all. So we cancel feet out, we solve this out, and we can get how many inches are in a mile. I'm not going to do the math for you, you'll have to do that. Okay. Now let's do number 2. This is giving you a volume. It tells you it measures 1.4 meters times 3.5 meters times 0.070 meters. It wants to know its volume. Well, volume is length times width times height. And I told you that in the equation. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to take 1.4 meters and you're going to multiply that times 3.5 meters and multiply that times 0.07 meters. And you're going to end up with a number, I believe it's 3.3 meters cubed. That's the volume. See, now that what they want us to do is get that into liters. Well, this is where it gets tricky. How do we get from meter cubed to liters? Well, we know that 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. And once we get milliliters, we can get liters from there. So we need to get meter cubed into centimeters cubed. We have 3.43 meters cubed. Well, we know that in 1 centimeter, there's 0.01 meters. 0.01 meters. This is just from that page 7 that's in the book. However, there's only 1 centimeter here. We need 3 of them. We need a cubed. So we have to treat the units the way we treat the numbers, and we have to cube this. Okay? If we multiply 3.43 times this number cubed, you end up with a very large number. 3400000 centimeters cubed. Now, what you can do from that, we know that that's equal to a milliliter. So we got rid of the centimeter cubed. And now we also know that you have, in 1 liter, you have 1,000 milliliters. Cancel out milliliters, we end up with liters. I'm going to let you finish the math here. These are extra credit. So the first thing you have to do is to get meter cubed, convert that to centimeter cubed, and then you go from centimeter cubed to milliliters, and from milliliters to liters. That one's tricky. That would be probably one of the hardest ones you would be expected to work in class. That one was tricky. Okay, the next one gives you a mass. It gives you a volume of 0.75 liters, and the density of, we just worked one just like this, 20.3 grams per milliliter. We know that density equals mass divided by volume. So if we're trying to find mass, we would know that density times volume equals mass. The volume is in liters here, though. We have this in milliliters, so we have to get the 0.75 liters into milliliters. So we know that in 1 milliliter, there is 0.001 liters. Liters cancel out. We're left with milliliters. And we have 750 milliliters. Okay, now we have that in milliliters. We have our mass. So we have 20.3 grams per milliliter times 750 milliliters. Milliliters are going to cancel out. Our answer is going to end up with grams, which is what we wanted anyway, because we want our mass in grams. Looking at significant figures, we have 2 significant figures here and 3 significant figures here. So you're only going to be able to report your grams to 2 significant figures. To give you a hint, you might want to write it as a scientific notation. Remember we talked about that? Okay, and now let's do the last one. The last one I'll go up a couple of steps for you, and then I'll let you finish it. All this is a silly little exercise to help you make sure you understand how to cancel out what you don't need. I gave you some relationships, and I told you to start with 3.4 apples. And I want you to get apples to watermelons. Well, I told you there are 2 grapes and 1 apple. So I want to get rid of apples, and I'll end up with grapes. So I put 2 up here, 2 grapes. These will cancel each other out, and I'll end up with grapes. I told you there are 4 bananas and 3 grapes. So if I put 3 grapes down here, that's what I want to cancel out. 4 bananas up top, cancel out grapes. Now I'm end up with a number. I'm not going to do the math. You're going to do the math. I'll have a number that's in bananas. I told you there are 7 strawberries and 1 banana. And 5 bananas, sorry. And you're going to end up with a number that's in strawberries. And I told you there was 1 cantaloupe and 2 strawberries. Strawberries will cancel out, and you'll end up with a number in cantaloupes. And then, going a little bit further, I told you for every watermelon, you have half a cantaloupe. That cancels out, you're going to end up with watermelon. You just have to keep going through. What you want is up here, what you want to cancel out is down here, and you're able to go all the way from apples to watermelon, just the way you were able to go from miles to inches. And the way you're able to go from liters to milliliters. You just have to cancel out what you want. Don't worry about sig figs with this one, just solve it. Okay, good luck.